Well, the amount of income tax in current retail prices varies depending on what kind of product it is. Did it have a lot of human labor? Did it have a lot of, was it capital intensive to produce it? So that's really all different. Economists tell us that that number varies, but on average is around 20%. So what that means is that every dollar you spend, there's approximately 20% of that dollar going to the federal government in some form or another, whether it's a corporate income tax, a payroll tax, and a compliance cost, approximately 20%. The fair tax, by its very nature, protects taxpayer rights and civil liberties because it's not intrusive. You pay when you spend. The money that you save and invest is yours, and no one tracks it. No one has any interest in knowing where that is or what you're doing with it. But in addition, the fair tax has, in law, strong taxpayer rights provisions so that if you ever do have a question or a problem with respect to the fair tax, that you have advocates for your side and you're able to get a fair hearing. Well, there are many significant economies that use a sales tax as a foundation for their tax system, and that's 45 of the United States. In fact, Texas and Florida, two of the biggest economies in the world, are driven primarily by sales taxes and don't have income taxes. I haven't found an example of a country that has had an exclusively a federal sales tax as their source of revenue, but we know it works as a system because large economies already run on it. And to be honest, some of the other countries that have sales taxes that are often criticized for their tax system are primarily criticized because they have, in addition to the sales tax, a whole host of other taxes, including VATs or income taxes, that really burden their tax system. So the best example of sales taxes that work, and for people to have confidence that these systems work, are right here on our own shores, because most of us pay them every day. It's far riskier to keep a federal income tax system that's crippling our economy than it is to move to a simple, transparent, fair sales tax that we already use all across the country today. The fair tax is progressive, and the reason why it's progressive is because of the prebate. We make sure that no taxpayer pays the fair tax on essential goods and services. That means that the first dollar of fair tax that you pay is on the first dollar you spend after essential goods and services. And when you think about it, if a very wealthy person spends $10 million this year and gets a prebate of $4,500, and another person spends $30,000 this year and gets a prebate of $4,500, clearly the person spending the $10 million, even though he's getting the prebate, is going to spend a huge proportion. 23% of $10 million minus $4,500 is a huge amount of taxes. That's a very progressive system. And the great thing about the system, it is totally transparent. There's no gaming, there's no tax lawyer or accountant that a wealthy person can pay to get them out of paying their fair share of taxes. It's definitely progressive. They're going to pay that tax on everything they spend above the poverty level.